We are now live on YouTube, sir.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Sarvarigu Namaskaraಗಳು. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Sadguru Brahmanishta Shrotriya Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us with Shraddha, conviction and belief and devotion, today's discourse is being commenced now with the Mangalacharana shlokas. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Before commencing today's discourse, the commentary given by Maha Acharya of Sringeri Peetham, Jagadguru Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal, his main commentary on Viveka Chudamani by Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada. One or two small points are there that we will take up in the due course itself. Earlier, there was a question, I remember, that the significance of the word Shri. Shri is used here. That will come now, actually. And the normal repeated request for all of our Guru Bandhus, you can mute your sets over, mute your sets till the discourse is over, till the Ram Bhajan is over. Then it is open for small question and answers. That was the point. Last time, there was an important shloka that was, the discourse had come to that point. The disciple, with total humility, humbleness, prostrating at the Sadguru, asks 7 questions. This was told last. 7 questions. The first question he asked the Sadguru is, what is actually bondage? Bandhana andre yenu. Bandhana andre yenu. What is bondage? Here the word bondage refers to mainly the repeated birth and death cycle of samsara. So bondage means we are caught up in this cycle of worldly life. We are born and we die. Again we are reborn as per our Hindu Sanatana Dharma philosophy of Punarjanma Siddhanta Mattu and Karma Siddhanta. So what is this bondage? What is this bandhana? Second question was, how did it arise? Ee bandhana hege bantu? Third question was, how does it continue? This bondage, how it continues? Please remember the word bondage often used here. Bondage means in short, brief. I am identifying with my body only. I am so and so. That's all. Bondage means I am really identifying myself to my body and my name, my status, my family. That's all. Main point. How does it continue? That was the third question. Fourth question the disciple asked, how one can be released from this? ಈ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಹೇಗೆ? ಮುಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು? ಈ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು? Fourth question. Fifth question, what is ಅನಾತ್ಮ? ಅನಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗುರುಗಳೇ? ಅನಾತ್ಮ, what is that? Next, sixth question was, then what is ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ? ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಭಗವಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು. ಸೊ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು 6ನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ. 7ನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಆತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಇವುಗಳ ವಿವೇಚನೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಗುರುಗಳೇ? ಹೌ ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್, ಅನಲೈಸ್, distinction between Atma and Paramatma. 7th question. So these were the questions. See the next entire, the Grantha, the book of Viveka Chudamani Acharya Bhagavad-pada has written. The entire book now covers the detailed explanation given by the Sadguru on for all the 7 questions, one by one in the sense, ಈ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿವೇಕ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿ ಗ್ರಂಥದ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದರು ಈ 7 ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಉತ್ತರಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ 2ನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, 3ನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವೇದಾಂತದ ಸೂತ್ರದ ಅಳವಡಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿವೇಕ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದ in the entire Vivek Chudamani now gives the detailed answers to all the 7 questions. May not be the same order, please remember. May not be in the same order, but in a beautiful, metaphorical and simple, lucid way he explains. So that is important. So if you look into the whole review of the Viveka Chudamani in short, in very briefly, if you want to know what is there now in Viveka Chudamani, Acharya has given to us, the whole mankind. See, he takes up the 4th question first. 4th question. What is the 4th question? How one can be released from bondage. That means, what is liberation? What is salvation? What is emancipation? How I can be liberated? That means, how I will get Brahmajnana. 4ನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮೊದಲು ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಈ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೇಗೆ? So he starts with the 4th question, answering that. How liberation is achieved. Next, he takes up the 5th question. Next, what is Anatma? ಅನಾತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗುರುಗಳು. ಏನು? ಈ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರ, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರುವುದು ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಶರೀರ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಅದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಗುಪ್ತವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಾರಣ ಶರೀರ. ಈ 3 ಶರೀರಗಳು ಅನಾತ್ಮ. So Acharya explains in his shlokas what is anatma. All the 3 states of our body, the physical body as visible to all of you. I am sitting here, you are seeing me. So this physical body, sthula sharira, then the subtle body inside which cannot be seen, agochara. Then still anadi, beginningless. Karana Sharira is there, causal body is there. All the 3 are Anatma. He goes on explaining. Then he takes up 6th question next. What is Atma? There you will understand Atma, the word referred to for the sake of convenience, for the sake of communication. The word Atma refers to that absolute tattva itself, that cosmic principle itself, that super conscious awareness itself, that Parabrahma itself, which cannot be explained by words, because it is beyond your explanation, beyond our mental thinking, beyond our logical reasoning, whatever we call. It is a simply total awareness, ever existing, without beginning, without end, without the birth, without death, all the time remaining in the same state of awareness, pure consciousness. Atma andre ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವಸ್ಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಶಾಶ್ವತವಾಗಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಾವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅನಾದಿ ಅಂತ್ಯರಹಿತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಆದ್ಯಂತರಹಿತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತು ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಆತ್ಮ ಅಥವಾ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸತ್ವ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು. ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ಬೇರೆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈ ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ವಸ್ತು, ನಿತ್ಯ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಿತ್ಯ? ನಿತ್ಯ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ever existing, permanent. Atma is always nitya, permanent, always. It is shashvata, ever existing. There is no beginning, there is no end, there is no birth, there is no death. So that is Paratatva, Parabrahma Tattva, Atma Tattva. All these words are used. And while giving his explanations on Sutra Bhashya, Brahma Sutra Bhashya, in one of the famous suktis of Acharya Shankara Bhagavad-pada is definition for what is nityam, what is permanent, eternally present, without any change. For nityam, Acharya gives a definition as yadrupena nishchitam tadrupena na vyabhicharati. What is nitya? What is permanent? What is Atma? What is Paramatma, or what is Brahma Bhava, Brahma Padartha? Yadrupena nishchitam tadrupena na vyabhicharati. That which is present in a particular way, which cannot be understood by the human mind. You cannot gauge it, you cannot, because it is beyond the limits of your observation. So the thing which is present in its original supreme form, it always remains in the same form without any change. That is nitya. So that is Atma. Then he takes up, Sadguru takes up, as Acharya writes, the first question to the Shishya. First question is, what is bondage? What is this bandhana? ಈಗ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಬಂಧನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿನ ಮೂಲಕ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಉಪದೇಶ. ಬಂಧನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಬಂಧನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳೋದು, ನಾವು ಅಜ್ಞಾನದ ದೆಸೆಯಿಂದ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ, ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬಂಧನ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ writes here, what is this bondage? He gives the basic, simplest definition first. See, the bondage is identifying the Atma, which is anadi, which is ever existing, changeless, motionless. Sarvatra Bruhat Brahma Padartha. Identifying that Atma with body, Anatma. That is bondage. Why? Because of ajnana, because of ignorance or avidya. Vedanta, in Vedantic parlance, in most of the context, when the words are used, ajnana and avidya go together. They mean the almost same thing. The word ajnana, avidya used in the individual jiva sense. So when I am in ajnana, it is called avidya. So both are almost same. Ignorance, primal ignorance. Then the Acharya takes up the second question, how this bondage arose. ಈಗ ಎರಡನೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ವಿವೇಕ್ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿ. ಈ ಬಂಧನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? Then Acharya explains the effect of Maya. That is the peculiar, we can call it as a force, we can use any word to explain, but it can't be explained. Anirvachaniya. What is Maya? And it comes later, we'll take up in detail there. So here we have to remember only this much. Because of Maya, because of the great illusion, because of the illusory power of the God, Maya, it acts in two ways. First, it conceals, it covers away the reality, your real nature, that by its own tamoguna. It conceals. ಮಾಯೆಯ ಮೊದಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಮರೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋದು, ತಮೋಗುಣದ ಪ್ರಭಾವದಿಂದ ಮರೆಮಾಚೋದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆವರಣ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಯ. ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಯ ಇಸ್ ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ದಿಸ್ ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಜೋಗುಣ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್, it makes you wrongly to identify that you are the body. First, Maya covers the reality, your real nature, and then second, it makes you to think that you are the body-mind complex, right from the beginning till the last breath of the body. Andre, almost from the birth till death, we identify that I am so and so, I am this body, I have a name, I have a family, my parents are so, my children are so, like that. So that is how the bandhana arose, because of the potency of the illusory power of the Lord, Ishvara. Then he takes up the third question, how does this bandhana, bondage, continue in the world from death to the birth, again rebirth, again death, like that? How does it continue? Birth after birth. ಈ ಬಂಧನ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದು ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ? That is the third question. Then Acharya explains there, it is continuing because of the tree of samsara. This whole world, the world, illusory world itself is the reason created for the bondage to continue because of ajnana. So the same answer here. Bondage continues ultimately from one birth to another birth for hundreds of births in a human being, in a jiva, because of ajnana continues from one birth to another birth. It goes on and on and on till liberation is achieved by the grace of Sadguru or Lord, by intense sadhana. By intense spiritual sadhana and the grace of Lord or Guru, then only the bondage is cut, because ajnana is removed. The removal of ajnana is called, for the sake of communication, dawn of reality. Repeatedly it has been said, jnana is not something new which is acquired, which comes up, which is not present in the beginning, it comes up later. It is not like that. Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami always writes one beautiful sentence in this. It comes later. He says, Mahaswami says, every jiva, every human being, every individual, without exception, you are Brahman, you are Brahma Padartha, you are Paramatma only, without knowing it. You are already, you are Brahma Padartha, you are Parabrahma Swarupa only. Only thing you don't know it, without knowing. disconnected. After liberation or Brahmajnana, what happens? Consciously, you experience that you are Brahma Padartha, not the body. And you abide in that state of consciousness throughout. So that is in the normal sense called as a dawn of reality, dawn of jnana. ಜ್ಞಾನೋತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಬರೋದಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ನಿಜಸ್ವರೂಪ ಏನು ಮರೆತೋಗಿರೋ ನಿಜಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನ ನೆನಪಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸ್ವಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು. ಕೇವಲ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿಂದ ಬರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಸಾಧನೆಯಿಂದ, ಗುರುಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೃಪೆಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗೆ ತಾನಾಗಿ ಬರೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ, ಅದು ಲಿಬರೇಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಜೀವನ್ಮುಕ್ತತೆ, ಮುಕ್ತಿ, ಮೋಕ್ಷ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಶಬ್ದಗಳಿದೆ. Then Acharya again reverts back to the fourth question, how one can be released from this bondage. How one can be released from the bondage. Then he mentions in the Vivek Chudamani, this you can be released from the bondage only by your constant sadhana, your self-initial effort, which is a must, and your dispassion, vairagya, then your sacrifice, giving up all your worldly pleasures, tyaga. And then finally, mumukshutva, your desire to be liberated. And finally, the Guru's grace or grace of the Lord. That is how ultimately bandhana can be removed or ajnana can be removed or erased. After that, the seventh question, how to differentiate Atma and Paramatma, again, Acharya takes up in detail in so many shlokas, in so many ways, till the end of Viveka Chudamani. He continues to distinguish Atma and Paramatma, or what is this Atma, what is this Paramatma? Ultimately, see, sometimes the doubts always remain, confusion. The point is, Atma itself is Paramatma. Only thing to remember is, Atma is not Anatma. Anatma means, A here refers to absence of Atma, Anatma. So ultimately, Atma, Paramatma, they are one and the same. They appear to be different, but by the final mode of sadhana, in Advaitic sadhana mode, the sadhaka, spiritual aspirant, will directly perceive, experience that he himself is that padartha only. So, Acharya takes up detailed exposition of one Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi, the famous Mahavakya of the Upanishads. There are 4 important Mahavakyas. One is Tattvamasi. Tat means that. Tvam means you. Asi means you are that only. Acharyaru ವಿವೇಕ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಸ್ತಾಪ ಮಾಡಿ ತತ್ ಪದಾರ್ಥದ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆ, ತ್ವಂ ಪದಾರ್ಥದ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆ, ತ್ವಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನು, ತತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ, ಎರಡೂ ಒಂದೇ ಹೇಗೆ, ನೀನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ ವಾಕ್ಯದ ಆ ಪದದ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಬಿಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸಂಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಸಮಾಧಿ ಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಗಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಸಮ್ಯಕ್ ದರ್ಶನ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಜೀವನ್ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್, ಆಸ್ ವಿ ಕಮ್ ಟು ವಿವೇಕ್ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯ goes on explaining the higher levels, steps in the sadhana mode. Initial effort, sadhana, how it takes you up and up in the ladder of spirituality. That he will explain what is the meaning of the word tat, what is the meaning of the word tvam, ultimately what is tattvamasi, then what is samyak darshana, nothing but atma jnana, then what is brahmatma samsthiti, that is brahma atma ekatva bhava, Brahmatma Samsthiti, then what is Jivan Mukta state? What is that state called Jivan Mukta? That is liberated sage, liberated guru, liberated individual is called Jivan Mukta. While still living in the body, you are liberated. You become Sakshat Brahma Padartha. You lose your identity in simple. You cease to exist your individual identity. You become zero, become nobody, yet you live in the samsara, covered by Maya. You live in the world of Maya, but you are not bound by that Maya. You will always be a witness to that, away from the Maya, because you have cut the ropes of the Maya there. So a jnani is called Jivan Mukta. While still living, that jnani is called Jivan Mukta as per our Advaitic school of thought. So you will become a jnani, Jivan Mukta. And ultimately, he ends, Acharya ends, what are the attributes, the features of a Jivan Mukta? By explaining in detail, he will take you to that point, that our goal ultimately is to be liberated now itself, still while we are living in the body. That is why he explains what is the benefit accrued for a Jivan Mukta, how a Jivan Mukta can help the empirical, experiential world full of Maya, how his presence will soothe the minds of fellow human beings who are in still Ajnana mode. How with the compassionate look, a Sadguru, a Jivan Mukta, a liberated sage, a liberated soul behaves in the world. All these are covered in Vivek Chuda. So, I think in nutshell, I wanted to say the entire Vivek Chudamani, all the shlokas, how they proceed. I don't know whether I have made myself very clear. So with this background, we are starting today's discourse. After the 7 questions asked by the disciple, qualified disciple, with his mental qualification, he is endowed with Viveka, endowed with Vairagya, endowed with Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, and Ichha towards Mukti, Moksha Ichha, Jijnasa, or Mumuksha. The Guru is pleased, Sadguru is pleased. So, Acharya Bhagavad-pada writes now, Shri Guru Uvacha. That means now the Guru talks, Sadguru talks. Shri Guru Uvacha. It starts like that. This word Shri, last time somewhere in the beginning, this question was there. That's the significant meaning of the word Shri. I remember I had told that it will come later, we will take up. Now we will take up that. Please remember, I will remind you, all my Guru Bandhus with folded hands, just you recollect one famous Guru Mantra. Most of us, we know that. Most of us. What is that? With Shraddha and Bhakti, we always, even our children are taught. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. In this famous, most popular Guru Mantra, second line, observe, there is a word. First line, Guru Brahma. We are, with folded hands, we are telling the Guru that you are the Brahma itself. Which Brahma? Please remember here. Guru Brahma means the creator of Brahma, Prajapati Brahma, one of the 3 trinities of manifested God, Ishvara. During creation, Brahma appears first, Srishtikarta, from the Vishnu himself, who is a Sheshashayana. Vishnu is Palanakarta. He maintains this creation. Then Shiva is Samharakarta. These three aspects of God, Ishvara, they are one and the same, but from the point of their divine role, they are called Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. But all the three come under the one heading called God, Ishvara. So, in this Guru Stotra, we say, Guru Brahma, you are the creator. Guru Vishnu, you are the Vishnu himself, Mahavishnu, Narayana. Guru Devo Maheshwara, you are Shiva itself. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, you are the Parabrahma itself. Next line. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. We use that word, the second charan. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. In the end, we say Shri Guruve Namah. We don't say simply Tasmai Guruve Namah. We say Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Why? When this question was put to me long back, I was perplexed. I was stunned. I didn't know what to answer because all these days, the shloka, Guru Mantra, I have also recited every time, morning and afternoon, evening, night. But the mind never went into the analysis. There was no insight. Yes. In the first line, the Guru is equated to Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. The three aspects of divine Lord, Paramatma, Ishvara. Second line, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Beyond the three, we say next, Guru is Parabrahma itself. First line, Guru Brahma. Second line, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Then we add the word Shri. Now, what is that Shri denotes here? Now you understand why our Guru Parampara Stotra, the Stuti is so important. Ultimately, we believe that our Guru, Sadguru, is Parabrahma state itself. He is not only the three divine aspects, he is beyond that primordial Sanatana Avyakta substratum called Parabrahma Padartha. Brahma Vastu. Guru himself is Brahma Vastu. Then we say Shri Guruve Namah. What is that Shri here? Normally, Shri antandre now ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ಶ್ರೀ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಅಭ್ಯುದಯ ಧನ. ಶ್ರೀ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಧನ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಅಭ್ಯುದಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥಗಳಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಜಗದ್ಗುರು ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಮಹಾಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡುವ ಮೊದಲು ಶ್ರೀ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal says, he gives a commentary on the word Shri. Why the Guru is called Shri Guru? Shri refers to, according to Taittiriya Samhita, Mahaswami writes. Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal writes in the commentary on Vivek Chudamani. According to the Taittiriya Samhita Upanishad, the word Shri refers to the sum total of the entire summary of the Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, like. The word Shri refers to the entire, in totality, summary of all the Vedas. All the Vedas. It is something, all the Vedas are there together in the word Shri. So a person is endowed with the knowledge, wisdom of all the Vedas put together. That is the definition of the word Shri. And the Guru is an embodiment of knowledge or wisdom, jnana, Vedantic knowledge. He has become a Parabrahma Vastu by the grace of his Guru, learning the entire Vedanta under the tutelage of his Guru. He has accrued the wisdom by his proper austerity, penance, and tapas and meditation. So, what can be said about such a Sadguru? He is beyond comparison, beyond anything. He is the embodiment of the entire knowledge of Upanishads. That is why he is called Shri. So Shri Guru Vacha. Now the Sadguru says to the Shishya. Now we are coming to the today's first shloka. Sadguru says to the Shishya, Dhanyosi krutakurtyosi pavitam te kulam tvaya yada vidya bandhamuktya brahmi bhavatumichhasi. Dhanyosi krutakrutyosi pavitam te kulam tvaya yada vidya bandhamuktya brahmi bhavitumichhasi. Brahmi bhavitum ichhasi. Look, my dear child, Vatsa, dear disciple, you Brahmi bhavitum ichhasi. You want to be liberated. You want to attain that Brahmahood. You want to acquire that Brahmajnana by cutting the knots of avidya, by cutting the knots of ignorance, ajnana. Avidya bandha muktya brahmi bhavatum ichhasi. So by you want to get rid of this ajnana or avidya, and you want to be liberated. Look, my dear child. ಸದ್ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಶಿಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ವತ್ಸ, ನೀನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಲು ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದು ಅಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಸಮೂಲವಾಗಿ ತೊಲಗಿಸಿ ನೀನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಪಡಿಬೇಕು, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವನನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೊಗಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಲೈನ್, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ, ಧನ್ಯೋಸಿ ಕೃತಕೃತ್ಯೋಸಿ ಪಾವಿತಂ ತೇ ಕುಲಂ ತ್ವಯಾ. Please remember the first line. Please remember, put up in your mind, in your brain, write down this. Internalize what Shankara Bhagavad-pada Acharya is writing here for all spiritual aspirants, serious spiritual aspirants, sadhakas. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಜ ಸಾಧಕರು, ಸಾಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿರೋರು, ತಮ್ಮ ಜನ್ಮವನ್ನು ಸಾರ್ಥಕ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು, ಪರಮ ಪುರುಷಾರ್ಥವಾದ ಮೋಕ್ಷವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು, ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥವರು, ಈ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಚರಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಪಾದ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಪ್ರಸನ್ನನಾದ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮಾತಿದು. ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚರಣ, that is the Sadguru, Shri Guru telling his disciple, telling the devotee who has come totally surrendering himself at the feet of the Guru. Dhanyosi kritakrityosi pavitam te kulam tvaya. Nodappa, you are highly blessed. Dhanya asi. You are highly blessed, my dear child. You are highly blessed. Dhanyosi. Kritakrityosi. You have become kritakritya. You have been blessed and you have done everything what a man can do. Kritakritya means there is nothing more to do anything in life. You have done everything because you have come at this right moment for liberation. This is the most prime parama purushartha of human life, and you want that itself. So you are not only dhanya, you are kritakritya. There is nothing more. You don't need anything more. You have done everything. Pavitam te kulam tvaya. Your family, your lineage, pavitam te kulam. Te kulam pavitam, tvaya kulam pavitam. ನಿನ್ನ ವಂಶವೇ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಿನ್ನಿಂದ ನಿನ್ನ ವಂಶವೇ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ತ್ವಯಾ ಕುಲಂ ಪಾವಿತಂ. Your entire family, your lineage is being sanctified, my dear child, because you are interested to get Brahmajnana. See, remember, Brahmi bhavatum ichhasi. You are interested to get Brahmajnana. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಇಚ್ಛೆಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಿನ್ನ ಕುಲ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಆಯಿತು, ನಿನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಪಿತೃರು ಪವಿತ್ರರಾದರು, ಧನ್ಯರಾದರು. ಪಾವಿತಂ ತೇ ಕುಲಂ. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್. Please remember, hammer this point into your head. How lucky all the Guru Bandhus are. That is why, if you look at the life history of all Mahatmans, Mahantas, great sages and Acharyas, Paramapurusha, Jivan Muktas, Sadgurus, you will come to know how the disciples are blessed by Sadguru time to time, time to time. All their sins are washed away without their knowledge. Exactly, Bhagavad Pada is mentioning that point here. See, Acharya is talking like this because in the Sutta Samhita, there is a famous statement, famous Vedantic statement in the Sutta Samhita. Sutta Samhitile ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೊಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು, ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನ ಪಡಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ, ಬಲವಾದ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಬಂದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂತಹ ನಿಜವಾದ ಮನಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೂತ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳ ಕುಲಂ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಜನನಿ ಕೃತಾರ್ಥ ವಿಶ್ವಂಭರ ಪುಣ್ಯವತಿ ಚ ತೇನ. ಕುಲಂ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಜನನಿ ಕೃತಾರ್ಥ ವಿಶ್ವಂಭರ ಪುಣ್ಯವತಿ ಚ ತೇನ. ಅಪಾರ ಸಚ್ಚಿತ್ ಸುಖ ಸಾಗರೇಸ್ಮಿನ್ ಲೀನಂ ಪರೇ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ಯಸ್ಯ ಚೇತಃ. ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲವಾದ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಭಗವತ್ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ಆತ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ಅಂಥವರು ಅವರ ಕುಲ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾಯಿತು. ಜನನೀ ಕೃತಾರ್ಥ, ತಾಯಿ ಪವಿತ್ರಳಾದಳು, ಕೃತಾರ್ಥಳಾದಳು. ಇಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸುತ, ಇಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಳು ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಲು. ಯಾರೋ? ಜನನಿ ಕೃತಾರ್ಥ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಕುಲಂ, ಅವರ ಕುಲವೇ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಯಿತು. ವಿಶ್ವಂಭರ ಪುಣ್ಯವತಿ ಚ ತೇನ, ವಿಶ್ವಂಭರ ಪುಣ್ಯವತಿ ಚ ತೇನ. ದಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪೃಥ್ವಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಭೂಲೋಕ itself is blessed by such noble people who are seriously interested to be released from the bondage, who are interested in getting Brahmajna. Same, imagine, kulam pavitram janani krutartha vishwambhara punyavati chatena. The entire clan of such people, such serious spiritual aspirants, are totally blessed, and their life, their clan, their family is totally sanctified. This is the meaning. Then the Sadguru now starts teachings. Please remember, in the final stage of sadhana, repeatedly it was told, it is being said by all Mahatmas, in the final stage of sadhana, the liberation, mukti, brahmajnana happens by the grace of Lord, by the grace of Ishvara, or by the grace of Sadguru, not by personal effort. This is already said number of times. But at the same time, please remember, all Mahatmans have said one point. Here, Shankara Bhagavad-pada Acharya also says the same thing. But in the beginning, you have to have sincere self-effort. You must start sincerely your sadhana, your austerity, your tapas, meditation, as directed by the Sadguru. You, without doing meditation or without developing the total devotion or bhakti in the beginning, see, without bhakti, you cannot have parabhakti later. Correct? So without having bhakti or devotion, without having faith, without doing the initial sadhana earnestly, spiritual sadhana earnestly, like japa, repetition of God's name, japa, and meditation, dhyana. So without doing japa or dhyana or devotion, shown towards Sadguru and God, both are same, equal. Without doing any of these things, Brahma Jnana will not, God will not be pleased. Bhagavad Sakshatkara will not occur. So what is required? We have to do something on our own. So that is called Swaprayatna, Acharya says here. Swaprayatna, that is your initial efforts. Your free will, you should involve your free will to do the sadhana. You have to tell your mind, you must control your mind. You must subdue the mind to sit and do sadhana. Because it is not a part-time job. It is a full-time job. Without total involvement, without total surrender, without total bhakti, without japa, without meditation, nothing is possible. See, initially all these things are required. I remember, for a simple question, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi stated in a single sentence the same thing. All the efforts are required. Please go through the statement. What Maharshi said. All the efforts are required ultimately to remain effortless. Ultimately to remain silent. What do you catch? All the efforts are required. That means in the beginning, you have to follow the rules of sadhana as dictated by the Guru. Do everything what the Guru says. 100% involving yourself. You must give your 100%, not 99.9%. No. Totally, you must devote yourself. All the efforts are required. Swaprayatna. Ultimately, to remain effortless means once jnana dawns, once realization occurs, there is nothing else to do. You are beyond the karma bandhana. You are beyond the maya. You are beyond the world. You are beyond everything what the mind can conceive. You remain totally blissful, peaceful in the natural state of samadhi, your natural state. You remain always aware. The inner awareness always radiates, shines itself. These are all only words sometimes. Sometimes when such words are used, people sitting in the front will listen from one ear. They think that they have understood and they forget to next. They forget next. See, these are the words which are important. They are coming from the experience, not by book knowledge. So please remember that. Self-effort is very, very essential. Once we start earnestly, then the Guru will guide. Without our knowledge, how to proceed. Secrets will start opening up. ನಾವು ಮೊದಲು ಸ್ವಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮಂತ್ರಿಸಿದರೆ ಮಾವಿನಕಾಯಿ ಉದುರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಏನೂ ಮಾಡದೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ನನಗೆ ದರ್ಶನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಏನೂ ಮಾಡದೆ ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖ ಬೇಕು, ಶಾಂತಿ ಬೇಕು, ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಬೇಕು, ಆನಂದ ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡವಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ now starts. The Acharya to the disciple now gives number of examples to explain the importance of self-effort, individual effort, individual sadhana. Number of examples in the shlokas. The Guru says, Runamochana kartaraha pitu santi sutadayah bandha mochana kartatu swasmad anyona kaschana. Runamochana kartaraha pitu santi sutadayah ಬಂಧ ಮೋಚನ ಕರ್ತಾತು ಸ್ವಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅನ್ಯೋನ ಕಶ್ಚನ. ಈಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಒನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ತಂದೆ ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ತೀರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಕೊನೆಗಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ ಸಾಲ ತೀರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅಥವಾ ಪುತ್ರ ಪುತ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಳಿಯ ತಮ್ಮ ಬಂಧುಗಳು ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ ತಂದೆಯ ಸಾಲ ತೀರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು, ಅಜ್ಞಾನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಯಾರು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನ ಸಹಾಯ ನೀನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಂಧ ಮೋಚನ ಕರ್ತಾತು ಸ್ವಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅನ್ಯೋನ ಕಶ್ಚನ. This example is so simple. See, if you incur heavy debts in life, let's imagine there are children, daughters and sons, or son-in-law, daughter-in-law, whoever it is, kids and kins, to help you to come out of the debt. But if you are bound by ajnana, others in the family, your kids and kins, your daughters, your sons, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, they cannot help you. They may help you in money matters. In this matter, you have to help yourself. Bandha mochana kartatu swasmat. Bandha mochana kartatu anyona kashchana. Others cannot help you. So you have to help yourself. For what? To come out of the bondage. Second example Acharya gives. ಮಸ್ತಕನ್ಯಸ್ಯ ಭಾರಾದೆ ದುಃಖ ಮನ್ಯೈರ್ ನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಕ್ಷುಧಾಧಿಕೃತ ದುಃಖಂ ತು ವಿನಾ ಸ್ವೇನ ಕೇನಚಿತ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಮಸ್ತಕನ್ಯಸ್ತ ಭಾರಾದೆ ದುಃಖ ಮನ್ಯೈರ್ ನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ ಕ್ಷುಧಾಧಿಕೃತ ದುಃಖಂ ತು ವಿನಾ ಸ್ವೇನ ಕೇನಚಿತ್. ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಭಾರ ಹೊತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ, ಕುತ್ತಿಗೆ ನೋವ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ತಲೆ ನೋವು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಭಾರ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಕುತ್ತಿಗೆ ನೋವು ನಮ್ದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಲೆ ಮೇಲಿರೋ ಭಾರವನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರವನ್ನ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಮಸ್ತಕನ್ಯಸ್ಯ ಭಾರಾದೆ ದುಃಖ ಮನ್ನೈರ್ ನಿವಾರ್ಯತೆ. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಅನುಭವಗಳು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದಾಗ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ವೇ? ಉದಾಹರಣೆ, ನನಗೆ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ನನಗೆ ಹಸಿವಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಹಸಿವಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹಸಿವು ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? ನಾನೇ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನನಗೆ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? ನಾನೇ ನೀರು ಹುಡುಕಿ ತಂದು ಕುಡಿಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಈ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. If there is I'm carrying a load on my mind, on my head, there is a pain in the neck and head, there are somebody who can help me in transferring the load. They can carry the load. That they can do. But if I'm thirsty, if I'm hungry, if others eat and others drink water, my thirst, my hunger cannot be quenched. If I'm hungry, I must go in search of the food and eat the food so that my stomach is full, I'm satisfied. The hunger vanishes. If I'm thirsty, I must go in search of water, drink myself, not somebody drinking water on my behalf. Beautiful example. So I have to help myself. Third example Acharya gives. ಪಥ್ಯಂ ಔಷಧ ಸೇವಾ ಚ ಕ್ರಿಯತೆ ಯೇನ ರೋಗಿಣ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ಯ ಅಸ್ಯ ನಾನ್ಯಾನುಷ್ಠಿತ ಕರ್ಮಣ. ನಾನ್ಯಾನುಷ್ಠಿತ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನ ಅನ್ಯ ಅನುಷ್ಠಿತ ಕರ್ಮಣ. ನಾನ್ಯಾನುಷ್ಠಿತ ಕರ್ಮಣ. ಪಥ್ಯಂ ಔಷಧ ಸೇವಾ ಚ ಕ್ರಿಯತೆ ಯೇನ ರೋಗಿಣ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ಯ ಅಸ್ಯ ನ ಅನ್ಯಾನುಷ್ಠಿತ ಕರ್ಮಣ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ನನಗೆ ರೋಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ವೈದ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಪಥ್ಯವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಔಷಧ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನನ್ನ ರೋಗ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ನನಗೆ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಔಷಧಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನನ್ನ ಜ್ವರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಆ ಔಷಧವನ್ನ ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಜ್ವರ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಔಷಧ ಸೇವನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ರೋಗ ವಾಸಿಯಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ರೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನೇ ಮದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ವೈದ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ. ಸ್ವಪ್ರಯತ್ನ. So this third example is so beautiful. Acharya is giving small examples. Remember, these examples are 1200 years back, 1300 years back, Acharya is giving. You can give such hundreds of examples now. So if you are ill with some disease, then you have to follow the direction of the doctor with a specific diet and the medicine to cure your disease. You have to swallow that. You have to follow the doctor's advice. You must take medicines in time, follow the diet in time. But if somebody else eats away the medicine and follows the diet, how can your disease can be cured? Swaprayatna. You have to help yourself. Then next example he takes. Vastu swarupam sputa bodha chakshusha svenaiva vedyam natu panditena chandra swarupam nija chakshushaiva jnatavyam anyair avagamyate kim. Vastu swarupam sputa bodha chakshusha svenaiva vedyam natu panditena. Now he takes up the highest example in the Vedanta itself. Vastu swarupam sputabodha chakshusha svenaiva vedyam natu panditena. ವೇದಾಂತದ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಅರಿವಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಪದಾರ್ಥದ ಅರಿವಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಅದರ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅರಿವಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ನೇತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ವತಃ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅರಿವಾಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ನೇತ್ರದ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು, ಪಂಡಿತರು ಅದನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಸ್ವಂತ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬೇಕೇ ಹೊರತು ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪಂಡಿತರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದರಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಈಸ್ to know the reality of the Brahma Padartha, I have to strive spiritually with inculcation of wisdom and jnana, then I will understand. If some scholar explains Brahma Padartha, Parabrahma Vastu, I can only listen, but I have not experienced myself. See, direct experience is very important. So he gives an example to prove that point. Chandra swarupam nijachakshushaiva jnatavyaman avagamyate kim jnatavamanyai avagamyate kim jnatavyam anyai avagamyate kim. So he gives an example, Acharya. What is the example? If somebody explains to you the beauty of a full moon on the full moon day in the night, how the entire moon is shining. The moonlight is so pleasant, unlike sunlight, which is scorching. And it is so nice to walk in such a moonlight when it is falling on the entire earth's surface in a clear sky. You can listen what he says, but you will not know the reality. Only on a full moon night, clear night, when the full moon is shining, if you walk into the woods or the forest, look at the sky, then you will experience the grandeur of the moonlight, the grandeur of the moon, how the moonlight has bathed the entire surface of the earth. Only by personal experience you will understand, not by hearing somebody talking. Brahmajnana, only by personal direct experience, you will know who you are. That awareness should come from inside. Books will say, person sitting in front of you can say 100 things. Look, you are the Brahma Padartha, you are Parabrahma Vastu, you are Paramatma itself, you are not the body, you are not the mind. The person sitting in front of you can tell like this on and on. By listening, do you think you become liberated just like that? Yeah. See, he has told me, I am not the body, I am not the mind, so I am Parabrahma Vastu. I am Paramatma itself. Can you really believe? Just because somebody told you in front of you? Think yourself. Why? Because words are entering, that's all. Your mind is receiving through the ear. Brain is calculating, of course, buddhi, but there is no direct perception. There is no direct experience. In Vedanta, direct experience called aparoksha anubhava, aparoksha anubhuti. Direct, aparoksha andre direct. Anubhuti, anubhava means direct perception, direct experience. It should hit like an atom bomb in your heart. Then all the doubts will vanish away. You become aware of your own reality inside. Outside, nothing happens. You look the same person to the onlookers. There is no change in your behavior, maybe. There are no signs to others to identify that you are a Brahmajnani. You are as your normal human being, but your perception changes. Your vision totally changes. See, that is direct perception. Aparoksha anubhuti. That is a point Acharya is mentioning. So next, he gives one simple but very important point, Acharya. ಮುಂದೆ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ಕಾಮ ಕರ್ಮಾದಿ ಪಾಶಬಂಧಂ ವಿಮೋಚಿತುಂ ಕಶಕ್ನುಯಾದ್ ವಿನಾ ಆತ್ಮಾನಂ ಕಲ್ಪಕೋಟಿಶತೈರಪಿ. ಅವಿದ್ಯಾ ಕಾಮ ಕರ್ಮಾದಿ ಪಾಶಬಂಧಂ ವಿಮೋಚಿತುಂ ಕಹ ಶಕ್ನುಯದ್ ವಿನಾ ಆತ್ಮಾನಂ ಕಲ್ಪಕೋಟಿಶತೈರಪಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಸದ್ಗುರು ತನ್ನ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ವತ್ಸ, ಅವಿದ್ಯೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಮ ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಇಂತಹ ಪಾಶಗಳಿಂದ, ಇಂತಹ ಬಂಧನಗಳಿಂದ ಸ್ವತಃ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ತಾನು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಕೂತ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು 100 ಕೋಟಿ ಕಲ್ಪಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 100 ಜನ್ಮಗಳು, 1000 ಜನ್ಮಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರು ಅದು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗೋಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವತಃ ತಾನು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡದೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಂದ ಈ ಬಂಧ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅವಿದ್ಯೆ, ಅಜ್ಞಾನ, ಕಾಮ, ಆಸೆಗಳು, ಕರ್ಮ, ಆತ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು, ಇದರಿಂದ ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆತ ಬಂಧನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾದಾಗ ಸ್ವತಃ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡದೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ವಿಮುಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So the Acharya tells the disciple, without the self-effort, see, getting rid of avidya, ignorance, kama, desires, and karma, actions. What actions? Sakama karmagalu. You do actions with a motive of some desire. All Vedokta karmas, kama karmas, are done for some benefit, abhyudaya in this life and also later after life, that is to enter into heaven. So such karmas, such actions, and avidya, basic ignorance, and desires, see, they are all like pashabandham. See, they have like snares, they have covered you. So even for next hundreds of crores of births, if you don't try yourself, nobody else can help you to come out of this bondage of avidya, kama, karma, pashabandha. Nobody else can help you. How can anybody help you without you trying yourself? You have to help yourself. But don't worry, I am there. That is the promise by the Guru. Because in the beginning only he said, Pavitam te kulam, dhanyosi krutakrutyosi, he has already said. So don't worry, you have come to the right spot, you have come to the right place at the right time. I am there. You are already blessed. You have done everything. I will look after, I will show you the way. I will show you the way. So that is a promise. Sadguru, Sri Guru gives to the Shishya. With the Guru Sankalpa. So today's discourse with a short bhajan is being closed. Hari Om. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Namo Bhagavate Virageshwara. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. That was simply
Hari
mesmerizing.
Om. Thank you. Thank you. I must thank all my Guru Bandhus, all the Guru Bandhus, all the people, because of their intense desire to go towards God. What else is required? If a dust particle like me can be of some service to anyone in their lifetime, what else I expect? What else I require? Nothing else. Nothing else.
There wouldn't be any words to describe people like us, sir. So it's such a wonderful thing, and especially how you described the use of the word Shri. Though we have been chanting the same mantra so many times ever since our childhood, it was simply wonderful.
Even I did not know Kailashji until I read this commentary of great Yogi Varanya Avadhuta Guru Jagadguru Sri Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal commentary on Viveka Chudamani. He writes, in fact, for the want of time, I have to cut down all the extra commentaries by Jagadguru, because as it is, it will take more than a year to complete Viveka Chudamani. If everything is to be included, it will take 2 years, sir. So, I am begging Jagadguru to pardon me for using only here and there important his commentary, his explanation, not full, sir.
Simply beautiful. Simply beautiful, sir. Thank you, sir. So if anybody has
Thank
any questions, please send them across to us so that
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get that answered in the week.
Thank you. Thank you. Hari Om. Shall we close now? Thank you. Hari Om.
Sir. Hari Om.